It's only a couple more weeks we can do this because we're going to be crowning our new Celebrity Apprentice very soon.
Which is great because it's one less video.
Yeah. Which means I have a hole in Monday that we need to change. So I'm working on that right now, actually. I'm in negotiations with getting somebody brought back to the channel very soon. So we'll see how that works out. So let's talk about last week's edition of Celebrity Apprentice, and I'll shoot with you guys. It is Wednesday. So the episode just happened 2 days ago. This video is not coming out till obviously today, which is Monday, today as in when the video is coming out. But this video has been shot on Wednesday night, so this is fresh in our mind, so that's a good thing. I have my tattered notes here, but still, I mean, it's something to talk about. So Sig announces at the beginning of the show that he hasn't been PM yet. So no matter what the task is going to be next week, he's going to step up to be project manager. So sure enough, that's exactly what happens. And apparently he's going to face off against Brandy. This may not bode very well for him. But it's in his wheelhouse, literally, because this is a boat challenge. Apparently, Circle Line is doing guided boat tours around Manhattan, so that's what the actual task is this time around. Trump says he would have fired Sig if he was not the project manager. I don't think he was kidding.
Probably not.
Not anymore. I don't think he was kidding.
I'm pretty sure he's done that before. So.
Yes. So, both teams go to their war rooms, and we don't have a swanky suite or anything. No, this is literally on the boat. This is the big, open area on the boat. And that's where the war rooms are going to be this time around. This is all about entertainment. Geraldo, he has this brilliant idea to use Revolutionary War reenactors on this voyage. He's going to use his huge vocabulary and the fact that he has so much knowledge of history. He's going to use this to propel the challenge. I wouldn't want to be on that boat. I don't know about you guys. I'm not a history guy, obviously. It's like, hey, bring in Rudy Giuliani and everything. And it's like, yeah, okay, sure. But when it all comes down to it, Geraldo is simply unapproachable. When he has an idea, they're like, yeah, Geraldo, sure. You're really going to have to fight for an idea, and he's probably still going to fight you to the death anyway. Anything to say so far?
Oh, I love that moment where they finally settle Geraldo down and say, they explain to him, and you're like, maybe this is why that's not a good idea. And to all of their shock, he's like, oh, okay. And then I love that last moment where he kind of looks at Sig and goes, so we should probably drop the Revolutionary War thing, huh?
He's defeated, but he understands. That makes it even better.
I love how that's exactly what they were saying, but it takes him telling himself, so we probably shouldn't do that, should we?
That's what I've been trying to tell you for the last 20 minutes, Geraldo. Come on.
So it kind of gives him that nodding, like, yeah, that's done.
He knew his days were numbered. Anyway, or his hours were numbered in this case. So, at this point, we go over to the opposite side, and Brandy is a party girl. But she's not setting a theme for this at all. So Kenya immediately jumps on her case because there's no theme for this. And there has to be a theme to start. So Kenya comes up with this idea to do a Brazilian carnival. When I think of New York, I think Brazil. So, yeah, that's not going to work at all. Lisa wants Mardi Gras. When I think New York, I think New Orleans. Manhattan Mardi Gras, that's going to work. Okay. Kenya doesn't like Brandy, but she wants Make-A-Wish to get some money, so obviously she's going to try to fight for the cause. So that's commendable, I guess you could say. So Sig's idea was to recreate the Love Boat. It's called The Sexiest Catch. I shake my head at this.
Yeah, that was quite... At least they knew they were taking a gamble. I've seen contestants do that before where they just are completely oblivious to the fact that it's a gamble.
Oh yeah, this is a horrible idea and everyone knows it but the person that's actually coming up with the idea.
At least they knew, they said, since, last time they had the cat fight. So
yeah.
They figured, why not? Even though, families would be attending this, but... And
speaking of that, on this party cruise, on the Sexiest Catch for families, what do you have? Hooters girls. Nothing says New York like Hooters girls. They would have picked Scores instead of Hooters. This was really New York.
I thought somebody was going to nip that in the bud, but he kind of got it in there.
So Johnny Damon finally shoots down the Mardi Gras idea because that doesn't make any sense.
He had to convince her in private.
Yeah, he's like, this really isn't a good idea. So Brandy changes the concept.
And she covered her ass by saying, Johnny convinced me that this isn't a good idea, so in case it was a good idea, he can be thrown under the bus.
Well, we'll talk about Ian and throwing people under the bus in a little bit. Geraldo's words, he wants to hooter up the whole vessel. Words to live by from Geraldo Rivera.
Oh, he's not done yet either.
Oh, no, he's not. So now the theme is Big Apple Bonanza. Lisa comes up with this concept. So, apparently Kenya wants to sing her hit or song of some sort. I don't know. I've never heard it before. Why not?
I kept, she was kind of doing the thing, and I was sitting there thinking, okay, there's got to be another lyric to this. But she just kept going.
She turns into Sharpay Evans from High School Musical.
Oh,
except this one's really, really, really bad. So, apparently, old people won't like Hooters. That's actually one of the lines on here, too.
I really wish at that moment somebody had said, you know what, I think there's a little too much weight on this boat. Let's throw something off of it. And
Kenya.
Then we get rid of Kenya, yes.
Bye!
Why don't you fabulously try to swim back to shore?
Bye, Felicia. It's the most important thing to say at this point. So, then Sig has a Johnny meltdown.
Oh, God.
And the bartender is a little bit tardy. So he throws stuff everywhere.
That felt really, really
forced.
He was like,
totally.
When I was saying that as good of a player as Clay Aiken was in his season, I think one of the ultimate things that went into Arsenio winning was that Clay was as good of a player as he was really, really quick to crack under pressure.
Yeah.
And clearly Sig is the same way. Because that really was a non-issue that he was... I guess that, the advertisements are really building...
Oh, yeah, totally.
And it was such a non-issue that he was breaking shit.
It's nothing like Meatloaf in the art supplies.
That is just legendary.
Yes. It's awesome. It still lives on infamy.
That is a classic clip right there. That's right up there with Arsenio going off on Aubrey in the boardroom.
Yeah.
Both times.
I'm an Aubrey fan for reasons, but...
I'm fucking glad Arsenio made her cry. I go back and watch that again just for my own satisfaction.
I'm not exactly surprised. So after Sig throws a temper tantrum, what happens is he basically starts carrying things himself and complaining about it. Mr. Big Fisherman doesn't want to carry things.
You would think, the ultimate macho guy could do stuff without bitching. But, sometimes that's just not the case.
So this Big Apple Bonanza, it pretty much boils down to there's a magician and a boy band that I've never heard of before, and there's specialty drinks. Okay, sure, that's fun. Sexiest catch? Well, Geraldo brings the Hooters girls, and then he interviews them. And it's really, really awkward because, of course, the camera wants to show Don Jr. and his family are like, I don't really like this.
There were so many moments in that one area where it was like, okay, the person who has the microphone should not have the microphone.
Yes. Kate was like, get the hook. And
it was like hot potato with the microphone because everybody was fucking sucking.
And then, of course, Geraldo makes the very clerical error of saying the words... New York is back. Screw the terrorists. We've won.
Not only that, I loved that little moment where they were all saying, oh, it's a really bad idea to say that.
Yeah.
And then just before the commercial break, we had that faraway shot of the boat, and you could hear him say it again. Just as it faded to a commercial.
Dead silence, too. You couldn't hear anything. So, yeah, I wrote Geraldo plus Hooters equals get the hook. That makes sense. So, Sig wants to fight the general public for some reason, apparently. Alright, fair enough. Okay, let's get to the boardroom. The Bonanza was fun and festive, but the theme didn't really come through very well. Yeah, it's magicians and boy bands. That really works really well for this. Kenya, it's kind of split, kind of 50-50, but it's not really classy at all, especially when she was trying to twerk and everything, doing her horrible Fabulous song.
I hope I never see anything like that ever again. And as soon as she's fired, I hope I never see her again.
Props for Sig bringing the Coast Guard into this. You knew he was going to. Because he got the Coast Guard to drive by and, honk their horn and stuff. So, yeah, there you go. What?
No, he actually couldn't get through. He just got fucking lucky, and they just happened to be... So, I totally called them, and they came through for me. Everybody wave.
Sure you did. Sure you did. So Geraldo was simply boring and political. The Hooters, it left out the women. So where was the man candy for the women, obviously?
Which the women brought up.
Yeah, exactly.
During the process, but...
So, without a doubt, Brandy's team wins. So, what does Trump do? He goes into his graciousness file and he gives the Coast Guard $25,000.
After Brandy asked him to.
Yeah, because apparently he's going to do that this season.
I think he was going to before she asked, but still.
So there's... Yeah, I agree with that too. No one thinks that Sig should be the one that's fired. Everyone calls him out straight up and gets him and says he should be fired. And Lisa says there should be a switch of the teams. Keep that in mind. Trump likes Sig, but he's fired. And then after
that was really abrupt, by the
way.
It
was, but I will give props to Geraldo
because he
here.
was trying to, who was it? Was it Kate that was on the chopping block?
Mm.
And he was like, really building her up. And
yeah, and it's like, oh, by the way, Sig, you're gone. You're fired. Here's the thing. I'll give props. This is another kindness of Geraldo story right here. Obviously, after this was over, he whispers that he's going to give $40,000 to the Coast Guard out of his own pocket after this is over. So, yay, Coast Guard, woo! So, okay, let's talk about episode 2, shall we?
So basically, Geraldo is Geraldo during the task, but whenever he's in the boardroom, don't underestimate just how kind of an okay guy he is.
He's quite an okay gentleman when he's not have his feet against the fire. I will say right now that it's basically said throughout the beginning of the second task that Geraldo is just kind of screeching by. He's not doing anything to make enough people mad at him to get rid of him and team up to get rid of him, and he's really not doing anything to get noticed either. So he's kind of just sticking his nose in, but not enough to tick anybody off. Too much.
But Piers is proof that you can piss everybody off and still win if you're a great player.
And Geraldo is a great player. You can say anything you want about him personally, but Geraldo Rivera is definitely here to play. So we actually do get a switch of the teams. So Trump makes the mistake of asking Vivica who she wants. She wants Ian. All right. Geraldo, he wants Lisa. What do they get? Kenya. All right. Fair enough. So Ian takes the project manager reins against Kate this time around. And this is the Trump, I like to call it Trump Miami Golf Challenge. The Trump native Doral. Natural Doral.
Get it right, because Ian was going to be in trouble if he lost.
We'll say Trump National Doral. There you go. Yes. So Geraldo comes up with this idea to create this mascot called the Blue Monster. And it's actually a really good idea, and they jump on it immediately. And it actually worked quite well once, if you want to fast forward a little bit in this episode. So, Kenya and Vivica, what are they sent to do? Go get props. Turnabout's fair play, right? So, Johnny wants to focus on golf. And Ian makes the line about throwing people under the bus while I've got the bus schedule. Which is a great, great line that I saw retweeted about 1,000 times on Monday night. Yeah, brilliant line there. That's 90210 right there, sir. So, I'm not going to talk about Sharknado because that video is on this channel. Both of them are. So, I'm trying to read here what we got here. Okay. Ian is creative. That's fine. Apparently, he freaks out because there's a wall he wants to move. They asked if it's movable. Yeah, sure, but it's permanent. So, okay, fine. So, there's these... Apparently, he wants to put golden poles everywhere. So, there's like 1 million golden pole opportunities. Don't know exactly what that's about. All right. Kenya's the one that knows all about the lap of luxury, and she needs to be involved in this, and not getting props with Vivica. So, of course, she throws Vivica under the bus, and vice versa.
And annoys Kate in the process.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Kenya bugs Kate via text constantly about Vivica. So Johnny makes an offhanded comment. He's like, I can get a golf pro. I can get the guy that worked with Tiger Woods. And he's like, oh, that's a great idea. Well, he doesn't come through. And Ian's like, I'll just call this random golf guy I know. I have friends that go do things at the moment's notice. Hey, golf pro, come be my friend. So yeah, that's exactly what happens. Ian delivers.
That was basically his way of saying, I've got you marked, Johnny.
That's exactly right. Yeah, Johnny Damon's days are probably numbered in The Apprentice. So Geraldo gets to play the bartender this time around for the Blue Monster, which God knows how much alcohol was in that, because Geraldo is pretty soused at this point. He was like 7 sheets to the wind at this rate. So Kenya hates the set because you can't please Kenya ever. Johnny Damon is giving people massages. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but it is there. It's the lap of luxury, I guess. I believe the line was like uttered, "Who wouldn't want to get massaged by Johnny Damon?" Okay, sure. I'm just reading from my notes here. So the executives ask Ian what the size of the Trump ballroom is in the National Doral, and he doesn't know. And he looks really awkward trying to figure it out in his head. It's like, obviously, like, the gears are running, but they're not quite there. And then out of nowhere, Brandy comes up with the actual answer.
I thought it was Lisa.
That's what I meant to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm reading ahead. Lisa comes up with the answer and is like, and Ian's kind of like, what? He's still trying to figure out what's going on with this.
Well, all that matters is he got his ass saved.
Yeah, he did. So Kenya likes her new team. Vivica and Kenya argue like chatty little girls. And there's no I in Team Vortex, of course. Because Vivica, of course, wants to realize that Kenya wants it all about her all the time. It's I this, I that, I this, I that. So yeah, they're really going after her right now. So Ian says Doral or Miami. And Trump corrects him and probably would have fired him for it if he didn't say the right title. Ian can't come up with a weak link of the team. But when basically he's threatened to be fired because he has no weak link, he's like, Johnny Damon. Sure, whatever.
What I don't understand is people obviously have been involved with this show.
Yeah.
And they've probably watched it, too.
I would say so.
In preparation, I would hope.
I would say so.
If I was the project manager,
mm-hmm.
I would have that question answered every task before I went in the boardroom.
Yeah.
But for some reason, everybody always feels like they're suddenly asked it. The project manager has asked that every time. I feel like they should be prepared for that.
Should you be fired? No. Hey, little John, who should win?
Oh, God.
Poor John. I feel so sorry for him. He threw himself under the bus. He threw himself under the bridge, actually. So, there's not enough for the kid's side. So that's pretty much the demise there. Kate...
That's how that happened, by the way.
Yeah.
They said, Lil Jon, who should win? And he said, John Rich and Marley Matlin. And Pierce said, well, we're clearly going to have to turn you down. And Lil Jon got upset and said, turn down for what?
Oh, that's wrong. Oh, that was wrong.
I doubt that is the song's origin.
Yeah.
But we're going to go with that.
Oh, my God. Oh.
So let's continue.
Call me now, another bit of shots. Anyway, so Kate, of course, had the family aspect knocked down because, duh. So, the Blue Monster was a huge success, and I have a feeling they'll probably start using it in their ad campaigns, so.
I want to throw in here something real quick. I was really starting to like Kate.
Yeah.
Like, she seemed to be, like, she finally, seemed to kick it into gear here.
Mm-hmm.
And handled everything really well. Which saddens me now.
Yeah, this got fun quickly. So Ian wins, of course. No contest. There was never even a thought in anybody's mind that they were going to win. So then we get to the nitty-gritty here. Kate thinks Vivica is better than Kenya. So, of course, this starts Vivica and Kenya's battle once more. Vivica is uncomfortable in this whole situation, which is weird. I don't know why Verdina Green would be uncomfortable, but apparently she is.
She seemed like a fighter.
She really does. Yeah, no lie. No.
I'd love to see her take Kenya to the fucking baseball diamond.
We'll get to that, actually. So, Kenya just starts sucking up to Trump.
That was fucking disgusting.
Called the Trumps the literal first family of America right before the commercial break.
You know what I think is going to happen to Kenya?
She's gone.
I really hope so, but you know what I think is going to probably happen to Kenya?
Okay.
Do you remember in the one season with Aubrey, where Aubrey would just, like, constantly kiss ass?
Yeah.
And just take credit for everything.
I remember that.
Basically behave like Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, it was down to Aubrey might have possibly been in the last two.
Yep.
And then Trump just comes out and says, by the way, you're totally transparent and you're fired. If that happened to Kenya, it'd be worth it seeing her get to at least the top 4 to for him to say, you were this close to the top 2, but I see right the fuck through you.
I really think Kenya's gone this episode coming up.
I hope so.
And obviously, when I say episode, I mean one of the 2 firings, but I think Kenya's gone one of these. Apparently, there's going to be some sort of cell phone gate, so we'll figure out what's going on with that.
I think the issue with what happened with Kate here is a couple of things.
Well, it says she doesn't have enough experience to understand the luxury, is what is said to her by Kenya.
Yeah, I don't. That's just Kenya being a fuck. But,
yeah, I agree.
The 2 problems I think Kate had and what got her fired was number 1, Vivica and Kenya were just kind of going at it.
Yeah.
And she wasn't, as the project manager, she couldn't
really get in the middle of it.
She wasn't really speaking up or trying to go after somebody.
Yeah.
And the other I think this is actually what did her in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this one thing hadn't happened, Kate might still be here.
Okay.
Was the moment where they went in and he said, who should be fired? And she said, Vivica. And then arguments happened. And then he said, who should I fire? And she said, Kenya.
Yeah.
If she hadn't changed her mind.
She shouldn't have changed her mind.
I think somebody else would have gone. But I think that's when he realized, for being the project manager, she was awfully, a bit... Yeah.
Personally, you may not like Kenya more, but she is a strong player. You have to say it. I'm not a big fan of Vivica after what happened a couple weeks ago, but still, I mean, they're strong players. Personality-wise, doesn't matter. They're strong players. Kenya Moore is a strong player, whether it's right or wrong. Omarosa fell, and Kenya will too, so don't worry.
Trump is the type. I don't think he was buying the Kenya kissing his ass.
No.
Thing. It was. I think what really did Kate in was the changing her mind on who should be fired.
Because Kenya could have easily been fired. It was leading to it.
I understand where she was coming from with Vivica, but she seriously should have said Kenya first.
I agree. Completely.
When he asked her the first time, I was surprised she said Vivica and not Kenya.
Yeah.
If she had just stuck with Kenya, I think Kenya would have been gone. But
yeah, it was her undoing.
I think she did herself in by changing it there. Which is a bummer, because I was just starting to like her.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think I said some derogatory things about her in the other videos, but I was really starting to... She was really growing on me.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Oh, well.
And now there's a lot of heavyweights left in the teams, so it's going to be interesting to see where we go from here. Teams are a lot lopsided right now, so I have a feeling we're going to get another team switch soon. Maybe. We'll see. We still got 3 weeks left. We've got a modeling challenge, I believe, is coming up. I don't know what the other challenge is. I do know that apparently the finale is the universal task that I've been wanting to see all season. That you've seen the bits in the commercial spots for it with everyone riding Rip Ride Rocket. Yeah, that's the final task. I have no idea what's going on with that. So I don't know at this point. I don't know who's going home this week. I would think Johnny Damon's probably not going to be long for The Apprentice. I think he's probably gone this week.
He's a little too low key.
Yeah.
And this is generally the time when low key people start being picked off.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think this is Kenya's week she goes. Because I heard a rumor that apparently there were some issues with Kenya and The Apprentice, and it was big news for a while that something happened. We don't know exactly what it is, but something happened. So who knows what it is.
I really hope she has a meltdown or something.
We'll see. We'll see soon enough. Then again, there was a rumor that Kate was going to just walk off the show and just give up, but that didn't happen. She went down. She went down kicking and screaming. So
she went, me included. She was a lot stronger than people gave her credit for.
No lie. Completely agreed. So that being said, as I toss the notes into the trash,
Ferguson.
I'm not Craig Ferguson. I do not have a rattlesnake cup. Nor ever shall I have a rattlesnake cup. So, that being said, thank you guys for watching our Celebrity Apprentice recap for this week and from last week's episode. This week's episode should be interesting because apparently we've got some sort of cell phone gate, someone stole someone's cell phone and
next week
they tweeted a bunch of things. That's this week, as in, since this is Monday, so it's today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So since this is coming out on Monday, tonight's episode is cell phone gate, and apparently it's going to be something awesome is going to happen. So if you see one episode of The Apprentice this season, then watch this one tonight. So still a couple weeks left, and figure out who's going to be Celebrity Apprentice, and I'm still not completely sure at this point who the final four are. I've got ideas, but I'm not positive. So we'll see. So that being said, thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and continue to watch our movie content here on Pop. It's here a lot over the week. We have regular segments like AJ's Movie Reviews as well as Versus every Sunday. Ashley brings you gaming segment, Gaming with Ash on Saturday, and real regular segments on this channel from the Vlog of Randomness and Sip and Snack on Wednesday and Thursday. NXT and Impact on Tuesday, and starting after The Apprentice, we're going to have to look for something new for Monday, so we'll see where that's going to head, and that's pretty much the end of that. So, AJ, any parting words?
No.
And that's all we got to say about that.